everybody, this is Maya, and this is my first ever video blog. So I wanted to talk to everybody just a little bit about how I became an emotional eating coach, and then also to hand off one of the key techniques that I used on myself and I use with my clients to help you start to get freed up from any kind of emotional eating struggle that you might currently be dealing with. So first of all, I was a binge eater for over 25 years. It was a really long time. I ate a lot. I was a serious binge eater. I also had a major sugar addiction. And I was having breakfast and then dessert and then lunch and then dessert. And I'd walk 20 blocks for a donut if I had to. And sometimes I felt like I had to. I really, my whole day revolved around food. And the only pleasurable activities I could think of at one point all involved food. And, I never really thought that I could break free from that cycle. I'd never heard that that was possible, but I was starting to see that I was having some physical and some health issues that I could tell were a result of the way that I was eating. And I wanted some help with those things. Like I wasn't sleeping through the night. I was actually waking up around 5 o'clock in the morning to have a nice snack every night because my blood sugar was so out of whack. My weight kept going up. I couldn't stabilize it. It was way higher than I wanted it to be. I did not feel comfortable in my body. My moods were really funky. I wasn't happy. I was miserable. I felt either agitated and anxious or totally exhausted, and it was totally affecting my work and my social life. And so I was kind of a mess, actually. I mean, you couldn't really tell from the outside. It was never at the point where people could look at me and see I was an emotional eater, also because I was doing this behind closed doors for the most part. And it's also a somewhat socially acceptable problem to have, right? To just eat anytime for celebration or for sadness or for boredom. We're a culture of eaters. So, it may not look to the outside eye like there's a problem, but if you're feeling like you don't like yourself for the way that you are eating, then that's what I call an emotional eating problem or situation. Is you get to decide. You're the gauge of whether there's something there that you want to heal or not. And I think that's the first thing I want to share, is that it's absolutely entirely possible to heal from a sugar addiction, from binge eating. I was actually bulimic in my early 20s, like my teens through my early 20s. So I started there, and I'm at a place now where Halloween just happened, and I went trick-or-treating with a bunch of kids, and I wasn't even in the mood for candy. It was actually kind of bizarre. So it just keeps getting better and better. And the thing that's really strange about emotional eating is that it's really not about the food. It's about the emotions. And sometimes there's body image stuff and, all sorts of things get tangled up in there. So it's different for everyone. So whatever it is for you, the exercise that I'm going to give you today will help you start to get some clarity about that so that you can find out the truth of what it is that's operating inside of you, because you're a unique, beautiful person. And this is all about you. One of the things in my coaching practice, people kind of get freaked out that I'm going to put them on a diet or prescribe a way of eating, No, I prescribe no diets. I work with each person exactly where they are, which is how I continue to work with myself. And there's no diets, no prescription. So the exercise that I'm going to give you might not feel big enough. It might feel completely counterintuitive because I'm not going to be giving any dietary advice in this little video. But it's big. It has the potential to be really powerful. So I want to give you, let's say, give yourself like 2 weeks to really work with this exercise and then see what happens. And you can't get it wrong because, like I said, it's all about you. So here it is. It's so simple. It is simply this. You don't change the way you're eating or sleeping or anything unless you want to, but you don't have to. You basically just are going to start to tune into how you're feeling all the time. Like when you wake up in the middle of the night, what are you thinking about? What are you feeling? Where is that feeling showing up in your body? How is it affecting your breathing? Are you clenching your teeth? Are you tossing and turning? It's the same thing when you wake up in the morning and when you get up and you're going to work, or when you have to make a phone call or before lunch or during or after, all day long, the whole time, you're just going to be checking in with yourself and seeing how you feel. And you may actually want to take a moment. It doesn't have to be long. It could be 10 seconds. It can be 10 minutes, 20 minutes if you want to build that in, but it could be as few as 10 seconds where you just sit and really inhabit the emotional experience that you're having. Because the goal here is to get to feel comfortable with what you're feeling so you're not constantly trying to jump out and fill yourself up with food to escape whatever you're feeling. So you're going to start to get comfortable with what you're feeling, and that will be useful to you down the road. And also, there are sometimes messages in our feelings that it feels like anxiety, but really maybe it's something else. Sometimes anxiety is similar to hunger. Sometimes anxiety, it's very close to excitement. I don't know what it's going to be for you. So as you start to get comfortable with your emotions, you'll be able to handle them for longer periods of time, and they won't be running your life anymore. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of a potential impact that has on any eating that you might be doing. It has the potential to give you some strength and some power in terms of choosing what you're going to eat, because you won't be run. You won't be run by the emotion to escape. I've had people tell me that they kind of go unconscious at a certain point, or a craving. An out-of-control craving can completely take us over, and I know because I've been there. So this is the first practice that I want to give to you, just to feel what you're feeling, ask it some questions, feel it all the way through, and see if that does or doesn't affect any of the food that you might be eating. But don't worry about the food that you're eating. That's the other aspect to this, is just don't even worry about the food, because really emotional eating is not about the food. And as I continue to send out some video blogs on a regular basis, I'm going to be sharing some more tools for you to experiment with on your journey to finding the authentic you, who is a free person from whatever it is that you feel like you've been struggling with. All right, so I'm signing off now, wishing you all a beautiful day. Bye.